got on the wrong car or the wrong train at the wrong time at the end of a fuse of lit dynamite, blew up and killed a boy next to me and his mother and father and a bunch of other people. And it was not a well-designed bomb. It was a poorly designed bomb because it shot straight up. I mean, if it shot down, it'd kill a ton of people. As it was, I had a cut artery, cut vein. My ears are blown in. Really, I don't hear that much. I have to watch your lips to see what you're saying. You know, I was in Herman down here, Herman Hospital down in Houston. We flew in a medical evac into San Antonio, and I did hyperbaric at a military hospital there, and then they did some life-saving things that were surreal. To have yourself flayed open like a fish. I mean, that's something that I don't guess I was expecting. But you know, that I think if I had to say there's one thing that permeates that whole experience was empathy. I was in the hospital so much, and so many people were suffering, and there was a lot of dying, a lot of real suffering, and a lot of real dying. And it was it's like an acquired sense, this sense of empathy. I think before that I was pretty self-contained, pretty. I had such a narrow view of the world that I don't know that I could really sense others' suffering. But you know, you lie around, unable to move, and the only thing you can hear is the bells and the whistles going off, and the crash teams rolling, and the people getting wheeled out. It's just a different. I wouldn't call it a skill set. It's just a different way of not viewing the world, but of sensing the world. Not. It's actually a pretty good question, pretty narrow, and I've thought about it a lot. I mean, you know, you live, and everybody else besides you dies in a particularly horrible way. It brings up a lot of questions. Mm-hmm. Who lives? Who dies? What is shrapnel? Yeah. What is that lottery system that sends one piece of shrapnel into a little girl's head and then lets a whole lot of other people live? I don't know. How does that work? But I think for me, I've had to try to come to peace with living and carrying those that died with me. I think that's one of the. It's not a burden. It's like a gift, you know, where I have been given this value to carry forward, and with the hope that I can do something that may help others, or in some way serve to make things better for other people who may be struggling. Because I did witness a lot of struggle, and struggled myself. You know, I mean, I lived and died for days, and then had tons of surgeries. You know, hands, ears, feet, legs, you know, holes everywhere. I had gangrene, renal failure. I mean, I had brain damage. You know, nouns, I couldn't remember nouns for a long time. I've had to, and even now I have to struggle sometimes to come up with a noun. I mean, I can come up with 50 nouns, but I may not have the right one. But I think that's one reason why I write the way I write, because I have to sieve a ton of words. You know, it's like a seine. I have to seine, you know, there's a whole creek of minnows, and I have to seine 1,000 minnows to get the one minnow I need. Wow. The one magic minnow, and that's sort of been my search as a writer for the one magic minnow. Those are big questions. I think in my life, those are the questions. How do we live? What do we do with our lives? Mm-hmm. You know, every one of us, we're on borrowed time. Every one of us have missed tragedy by the smallest fraction, the smallest arc of electricity has saved us every time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not just me.
On this understanding that gift that you were given, we were all given.
We're all given.
given.
We carry it with us, and we don't remember we have it. And we can't set it down and expect it to always be there. I have to remember to pick it up every day. Every day. And if I forget, I feel like I'm not doing what I was. Look, I should have died. I should have died a number of times.
Yeah.
I didn't. I'm here. So I think my job is to do the best I can every day to reinforce the value of life and some sort of fair trade of energy and goodwill to everybody.
Yeah.
You know, my records, you know, I have these messages on the inside. The first one is when I was really struggling with a thing, and it was everyone is at the mercy of another one's dream. Now, the pretty world was how beautiful are these days, which I think they are. These days are crazy beautiful. And then Cotton was talk about forgiveness, how to forgive, because without forgiveness, I couldn't go forward. I went through a time of darkness and bitterness. It was I went into some dark places and chose a lot of stuff that would encourage that dark stuff. Stepping away from bitterness and finding some relief in forgiveness and gratitude is miraculous. And also, the past is a good teacher, but man, if it's the emotional cloud that stays over my head all the time, then I have no value in the present. I used to doubt it, but I don't anymore. I mean, I think the cogs of the machine roll the people in who are exactly what are needed, and we roll into places where we're supposed to be. And what I've got to do is be clear that I'm always exactly where I'm supposed to be. And when I fight that it goes badly. I've found that my will is a handicap.
I love it. We got plenty.